Welcome to Mr. Marr History. In today's video we are looking at the Higher History exam and considering how to answer how fully questions. Here's some background information about the how fully questions. These will be worth 10 marks. You will get a how fully question in the Scottish section of the final exam, often known as Paper 2. The purpose of this question is to allow you to identify relevant facts from a source and then, using your own knowledge, show what details are missing based on a particular question or issue. As has been noted, how fully questions are worth 10 marks. The best approach is to start off by answering the question, explaining how fully the source actually does describe or explain the issue. You can then get up to 4 marks, and this is for identifying relevant facts from the source which answer the question, and you can get up to 7 marks for identifying relevant facts from your own knowledge but which are not included in the source. If you don't give an answer to the overall question, you will get a maximum of 2 marks. In terms of question topics, the how fully questions will be drawn from the key issues and will be reasonably general in their application. One approach to answering these questions is to use AID when you plan your answer. AID is an acronym and stands for the following. The A in AID stands for answer. Remember, it's important you do actually answer the question. This can be a fairly basic approach, such as saying the source is quite useful in describing the issue, but misses some key facts. The I in AID stands for include. This is when you should remember to include up to 4 facts that the source includes and explain their relevance to the question. And the D from AID stands for doesn't include. Remember, you can include up to 7 relevant facts that the source doesn't have but are relevant to answering the question. When you quote from source, this is the best approach. You have to explain exactly why the quote is relevant to the question, and the best way to do this is give the full relevant quote and then show what this proves in terms of the overall question. For instance, source A says, and give the full quote. This shows that, and you go on to explain exactly what this proves in terms of the overall question. Let's look at an example question from the migration and empire topic. As you can see from this question, it identifies the origin of the source, we have the facts, and we also have our question. In this case, it's about explaining the effects of migration and empire on Scotland. Using our AID structure, we do the following, and we start off by giving our answer. In this case, we point out the source is quite useful in explaining the effect, but fails to include some important facts. Having done this, we now move on to the includes bit. We look at what the source actually tells us, and we explain why this is relevant. In this case, we give our quote, and then we give an explanation of what the specific impact was of this. Here you can see the quote, and here you can see the explanation of relevance. The full point together gets us 1 mark. A quick look at the source as well identifies where we found the quote that we've used. We can then do this for a further 3 points, because there's up to 4 marks available for quoting from the source. Again, you can see the location of the source. We do it a 3rd time, and finally we give a 4th point. Having done this, it's now important to move on to the doesn't include, the D section of AID. This is when we think what facts we know about the impact of empire and migration in Scotland that are not mentioned in the source. In this case, we simply have to make these points, ideally giving examples to support the point as we go along. We give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We could give 7 points from our own knowledge here, however, because we've given 4 marks from the source already, then we only need to give 6 from our own knowledge. Let's look at the answer then in summary. Using our AID structure, we start off by giving an answer to the question. We then, using our AID structure, talk about what the source includes, and we can give up to 4 facts from this. Finally, using our aid structure, we talk about what it doesn't include, and we can give up to 7 facts from our own knowledge. Higher History exam, how to answer how fully questions. It's really that simple.